Hello friends, welcome to our channel Knowledge Amplifier. So today in this particular video I am going to discuss how we can export Talend Job as single fat jar file and run it as custom jar using step execution in AWS EMR Cluster. Okay, and for this particular discussion you should have a clear idea that how to call a Talend Job from external Java application, which I already covered in my previous video. Okay, so if you have not seen that, I will request you to go through that particular video first, because that video will surely help you to understand this particular concept in better way. Okay, because if we know how to call a Talend Job from external Java application, then from that Java application only we can basically create a fat jar file, which is a standalone jar file, and that jar file we can run in any platform, right, where Java is present, right? So that's what I am going to discuss. The architecture looks like this. Here we will build one job in our Talend Open Studio. One generic job we will try to build, okay? And then we will do that as standalone deployment. And then we will basically make the code setup, which is a Java code, which will call the Talend Job, okay? In Eclipse we will be doing that. And from that Java code, we will create a jar file, and that jar file we will upload in S3. Okay, and whatever extra files this particular Talend Job require, like context file, or suppose this Talend Job is executing certain queries, that queries to be executed if that is stored in another file, all those files also will be uploading in S3 location. And then what we will do, we will launch AWS EMR Cluster, and then we will submit two steps. Okay, first step, we'll download the context file, which this particular jar file will use in the backend. The Talend Job will use that, and the queries to be executed. These two files we will download from S3 to EMR local, and from the EMR local, we will pass those two files as command line argument for that generic jar file, and then we might be executing certain queries in Snowflake, etc., etc. Okay, so this is the overall architecture. So now let's see the implementation without any further delay. Okay, so here is the generic Talend Job. I am going to use what I already discussed in my previous video also. It basically reads certain SQL queries using T file input delimited, and then it execute all of them in Snowflake, right? And all the Snowflake user ID, password, account details, it read from one context file. So context file we are passing externally for the job. Okay, now let's try to do an experiment with this particular job only. I will show you how to create a single standalone jar file for this particular job. Okay, so here the job name is ELT runner. So all I will do, I'll first save this one, and then here I will click on my job, and then here build job I will click. Okay, and then here I will browse. I will save in a particular location. Okay, and then here what I will do, I will click on finish. Okay, so let it deploy. So the job is deployed. Now let me go to that location, and here you can see this is my zip file. Okay, as a first step, what I will do, I will unzip this one. Okay, so here the job is unzipped. Okay, now I will go to my Eclipse. I will create a Java project. Okay, demo fat jar. Okay, and I am keeping this as Java AC 1.8. Okay, and then here I will click on finish. Okay, so here I will click on that, and then now I will go to build path, and then here I will click on configure build path. Okay, then I'll go to libraries, and I will click on add external jars, and I will read all the jar files whatever our Talend has generated. Okay, so basically it is in fat jar demo YT. Inside this, here leave is there. I will select all of them. I'll open. Okay, right, and one more external jar I need to load, which is basically in our actual job. Okay, so ELT runner, I will open that, and here apply and use. Okay, that is done. Now what we need to do, we need to load the context variable set. Okay, so I will go to this particular job and enter inside that. Here in local project, if you see this, their context variable is there. So from local project I need to copy that, right, which I already discussed in my previous video also. So I will copy that. I'll go to Eclipse, and on top of src I will paste that one. Okay, so if I expand that, here you will see that. Okay, right, Now here what I will do, I will create a class, okay, Java class, and then here package name I can give org.talend, okay, public static void main also I want, and name I can give demo EMR Talend, okay. So some name I am giving, and then here I'll click on finish, okay. Here I have already written it Java code which is same like earlier only. I will just take that and show you. Just paste here. In the class name I have given demo EMR Talend, so I will just replace that and I will remove this one, okay, right. So what we are doing here, first here calling this package org.talend, whatever package we have created, and then from local project ELT runner we are importing the module, okay. This also we did in our previous video, and here we are creating the object for ELT runner. Two arguments we are taking, one is Snowflake config path and Snowflake query file path, okay. Config path is basically the config path where it will read all the config files and load in the context variable, and Snowflake query file path is basically that particular query path you have to provide where all the queries are stored with our Snowflake will execute, okay. And then here earlier I have shown one context variable read, now we are reading two context variable, okay. So this is one string array, as you can see, context param config file location, here we are adding the config file path, okay. Config file location is basically given in Talend context variable, okay. So here you can see config file location, and then here you can see that SQL query file path, this is another context variable which we are reading from command line argument, okay. SQL query file path is also there in the context variable, right. So I hope up to this it is very simple, and here we are calling the Talend Job component to call our Talend Job from this external Java application, as simple as that, okay, right. So this is kind of same job what we did in our earlier video also. So I will just run this particular job. If it fails, that also fine, because we just want to do a compilation of this particular job. That's all, nothing else. But actually this job will fail because we are not passing the command line argument. So that is fine. This job failed, that is fine. But just I ran this particular job once to compile it. And now I can click on this particular main root directory, and here I can click on export, okay. And then here I will choose Java. Inside Java here you can see runnable jar file, so I will export as runnable jar file, and I will browse, and then here I will basically publish that in jar demo yt only, okay. And the name I can give demo jar runner stand alone, okay. So this is my jar file, so we can save that, and here we can basically launch configuration. Here we can select our demo jar, this is what we want to run, and there we can finish, okay. So let's click on OK. Okay, right. So the job is deployed. Only we need to do is we need to pass the Snowflake config file path and the SQL query file path to be executed, okay. So let me just show you the files first. So here this is my Snowflake config file, okay, where we have given all the important required context variable apart from SQL query file to be executed, and where this particular context file will be there, okay, that will pass as argument, right. So that's all. And one more file is there which is basically the SQL query file path, okay. That let me show you SQL query file. So here I am having some set of SQL queries which is basically creating table and inserting some data in it. In the public schema in person table it will load. If you see here in the context variable we have mentioned to use Ramu database. So in the Ramu database you can see currently in public schema nothing is there. If I refresh, then also you will see nothing. So what it will do, this particular code will be executed one by one using our jar file, okay. So let me just take the absolute path here. I will go to properties section, and then here this is the location. I will copy that. I will go to my trusty notepad, and here what I will do, I will basically paste that here somehow, okay. So I will just change the slash, okay, right. And the file name is execute SQL.txt, okay. So this is basically absolute path for my SQL queries which we want to execute, right? And now let's take the complete file path of our Snowflake context variables. So here I have given the complete file path for our context variable also. Now what argument we are giving first? First we are giving Snowflake config file path. Okay, that means this particular variable we have to give first as command line argument and then the SQL query to be executed. Okay, so this should be two command line argument for our jar file. So let's see that. Let's run our jar file. So I will go to fat jar and this is our single standalone fat jar, right? So I will open command prompt and let me show you first with Windows with how it is working. Okay, so what I will do, I will just copy this particular file name and I will paste that here. Dot jar we will be giving, okay, and java hyphen jar. This is the jar file what we want to run. Okay, let's see whether it is working on it. Okay, so here you can see it is printing executing this query create table and then executing this query insert into all the insert into queries it is executing. Okay, so if I go to Snowflake and refresh this particular place, here you will see the person table is created. So if I just use this particular database and if I just query this particular table, so let's start from person, here we will see currently 11 records are loaded. Eventually all the records will be loaded, which is basically 100 records. Okay, so let it load. We have tested that our single this particular standalone jar file is working with the required arguments. Okay, now what we will do, we will upload the Snowflake config file and Snowflake SQL queries to be executed in S3 and we will pass this as command line argument where this jar will be running in EMR cluster. Okay, so for that what I will do, I will go to AWS management console first and let me launch one EMR cluster. Okay, I will show all the steps one by one, no need to worry. So here I'll go to create cluster and then here I'll go to advanced option. No, I no need Hue or Pig, only Hadoop and Hive is sufficient. Even Hive also not required, but just keep it as it is, not a problem. And then here I can go to next. Okay, for this particular experiment, code nodes or worker nodes I can keep medium, not a problem. Just two code nodes I am keeping. Okay, and then here I will go to next. Right, cluster name I can give demo yt chart. Okay, right, then here I can go to next. One key pair file I can assign one existing key pair and here what I will do, I will create the cluster. Okay, so let the cluster get created. By that time I will upload the required files to be executed in S3 because if you see the architecture, the context file, the queries to be executed, whatever we have passed in this particular jar file as command line argument, those should be available in EMR local Hadoop environment. Okay, then only our jar file will be able to read or the Talend in the backend will be able to read, right? So here you can see in the Windows it is executing, that is fine. And by the time I will upload the content in S3, those two files. Okay. So here I will create a bucket and here I will give the name demo chart standalone talent yt. Okay. And then here I will create the bucket. So here bucket is created. I will upload my files. One is basically Snowflake config file. And another one I will upload is the SQL queries which is executing. Okay. This file, right? And here it is uploaded. Now I will upload the single standalone jar file also. So here this is our jar file. So let it upload. By that time here in Windows you can see all these queries are executed. If I go to Snowflake, here if I do select start from person, we will see 101 records got inserted as you can see. That means this job is perfectly working. Now I will drop this table because this particular same code I will execute in EMR and show you how the standalone jar is working. So I will just use this role and drop the complete database itself. Okay, all these queries I will execute. Okay, right, this table is now not existing. I'll refresh. Okay, currently this public schema is empty, that is fine. In S3 let it upload. Okay, so let me just explain you this particular architecture once what steps we are submitting. Okay, so here as you have seen that in this particular jar file, which is a standalone jar we have created in Eclipse, that require two command line arguments. One is context file, from where it will read all the Snowflake required context variables, and then the query file to be executed where all the queries are written, right, with semicolon separated. So these two files if we upload in S3, our Talend Job will not able to directly read, because here we are just giving the file input delimited. Okay, so it can read from local directory, right, not from S3. Now in EMR local we need to download the data first from S3 location. Okay, so that's what here I have written as first step. Okay, in this step 1 we need to download the context file and queries to be executed into EMR local from S3. Okay, so that we can download using AWS S3 CP command. Okay, using copy command we can download from S3 to EMR. So for that I have written a simple shell script. Okay, so here you can see bin bash I have given, and echo script execution started. I can give like this way, script execution started. And here what I'm giving, AWS S3 CP $1 $2. So first I will pass a command line argument, which is basically S3 location for our one particular file, and the destination location in EMR local where it will be copied. Similarly for the second file also, first I will provide the S3 location from where it will be copied, and then I will give the destination location where it will be copied in EMR local. Okay, simple shell script. I will change Windows to Unix here, and then here I will save this one. Okay, so here I will keep that in Talend folder inside FatJar only, and here I can give S3 downloader. Okay, .sh, this kind of name I am giving. Okay, right, and now this script we want to execute as a step function, so that also we need to upload in S3. Okay, so that EMR can read that particular step. So let's see what is our EMR status. I go to clusters, if I refresh, here it is in starting phase only. It will take some time, obviously, as we know. So here in S3 our single fat jar file is uploaded, and now I will upload the shell script also. Okay, which is basically S3 downloader. Okay, right, I will upload this one, and all these codes I'll be providing in the description box or in the comment section also, so that you will be having no problem. Okay, now I need to execute this particular script as a step, okay, from AWS console. So how to do that? So for that, here one jar file is available. Okay, and that is something what we have not built. This is AWS is providing us to execute any shell script in EMR as a step from AWS console. Okay, and the script is present in basically this particular S3 location. I have given here US East 1 because here our EMR we are launching in US East 1. So basically you have to give that particular region where your EMR cluster is in this particular place. Okay, then here this particular path will be as it is. Okay, script runner.jar is the jar file, and here in the argument section you can pass the argument. Like here in our case, this is the shell script which we want to run. So in the argument, first we need to pass what script we want to run. Okay, so here you can see that first argument should be the shell script what we want to run. So here we have uploaded the shell script here, st_downloader.sh. So I will just copy that particular URL and I will paste that. And then here we need to download two files from S3, right? So first I will put the Snowflake config file location where it is present. Okay, so that it will download from S3 to EMR local where all the Snowflake configs are present. Okay, so I will just delete that part, and here I will go to S3. It is basically present in Snowflake config.txt. Here this is the one. I will copy that one, and then here I will paste that. Okay, so Snowflake config file we want to download. Where we want to download, that Hadoop location also we need to give. Okay, so that I am giving in directly root place only, that is home, then Hadoop, then slash here Snowflake config file .txt. Okay, we are downloading keeping the same name. Okay, now next file what we need to download is basically that ELT queries what are present in a particular file. Okay, that also we have uploaded. So here ELT queries are present in execute sql.txt. So I will copy this S3 URL, I will paste that, and then here we need to paste the Hadoop location where it will be downloaded. Okay, so here I can copy that and paste, just the destination file name I can change. Okay, so if you see this particular code, what it is doing, it will basically call s3 downloader.sh, this shell script, and this shell script take 4 arguments. First argument for first file s3 location, then second argument is in EMR where it will be downloaded in local. Third argument is basically file which is present in S3, and fourth argument is basically in EMR where it will be downloaded. Okay, so that's how we have configured, as simple as that, right? And then here what I will do, I will make that particular one as a step. Okay, so let's see. So here see our EMR is basically in waiting state, so I can add this step. Okay, so I will go to steps, and here I will go to add step. So here I can add the custom jar. We have to provide the jar location. Okay, so this particular jar which is used for running any script, that one EMR itself is providing. I will just put that, and here we need to pass the argument. So I will just pass all these 4 arguments. Okay, first one is script runner, which shell script it will run, and then next 4 are basically arguments. Okay, so I will add that one. Okay, so here it is in pending state, soon it will be completing, and let's make our second step also. So what the second step is? The second step is basically our generic fat standalone jar, which will take those 2 arguments where our in the EMR local, in one file all the Snowflake configs are present, and in the another file all the SQL queries to be executed are present, and then we can run the jar file as a step function. So here first step, we need to take the S3 location where our that fat jar file is present. Okay, so that is basically this particular jar. I will copy that and paste that here. Okay, and then arguments, what we need to pass, first one is Hadoop location where config file will be written. Okay, because if you see, first argument we are passing the Snowflake config file path. Okay, that's what it is taking. So according to that only it will pass in Talend. So for Snowflake config file path, it should be first argument, and that we are basically going to download in this particular location in Hadoop local, right? So we'll just pass that here as a first argument for our Talend jar, and the next argument is basically a Hadoop location where all the ELT scripts to be executed are saved. So that one is basically stored in EMR local in this particular place if our first step is executed successfully. Okay, so let's see what is the state. So if I just refresh, here you can see our step execution is complete. Okay, even I can enter in this particular EMR cluster and show you those are getting copied. Okay, let me just show you. I will go to master branch and I will allow the SSH connection with a particular port so that I can enter in this EMR cluster. So I will go to master node, edit inbound rule, and here I will add the rule for all TCP from anywhere IPv4 I should able to enter. Okay, so that is done, and now here what I will do, I will copy this particular master public DNS and I will try to enter this input key, and I will show you that the first step function has already copied the required files from our S3 location to our local EMR destination location. Okay, right? So here putty is open. I will just paste that, and I will take my authentication key also, which I used for EMR launching purpose. Okay, and here what I will do, I will log in as Hadoop, which is default user ID. And then here if I do pwd, the current working directory is home Hadoop. Okay, and when we downloaded this script, we downloaded in that particular directory only directly. So I will do ls, and here you can see execute SQL text file and Snowflake config text file are downloaded. Okay, so that's what we will be giving as argument for this particular fat jar. Okay, that is basically this one. Okay, right? So I will go to EMR console, and then I will go to step function. I will go to add step. The jar location, I will paste this one, and in the argument, what I will do, I will pass these particular 2 files which are present in EMR local. One is Snowflake config, one is the SQL queries to be executed. As simple as that. Okay, and here I will add that. Okay, soon we will see that in the Snowflake here in the public schema, the person table is created. Basically, that particular table what we are creating using the execute SQL query. Okay, so let's just wait for a couple of seconds. Let the step start execution. So here you can see the jar, the custom step started running. Okay, right? So we should see the table soon. So here you can see the person table just now created. Okay, so here you can see the timing also 8:07 p.m. Currently also it is 8:07 p.m. And if I do select start from persons, here you will see currently 47 rows got loaded. Okay, and if I execute again, now you can see 54 rows got loaded. Okay, that means whatever queries we were executing in our local, that same way using custom jar we can execute in EMR also. Okay, and EMR is our remote server. Okay, in EMR we don't have Talend installed, but this particular jar, whatever we have created, that is a standalone jar. That single jar contain all the required libraries. Okay, so if you see that when we deployed the Talend job, here inside leave lot of jars are there. And what we did, we accumulated all these jars and we created a single jar. And that's why I am telling that as a single fat jar. Okay, right? So that's the importance of deploying a Talend job as a single jar file. I hope it might be useful to you in your particular project. You might be requiring to executing the pipeline like this way. So that's why I thought to just cover this particular approach also. And so that we will be completely comfortable with Talend, Snowflake integration and all. And here you can see all the 101 rows got executed. So our step will also complete. Okay, currently it is running. Soon it will be completed. Okay, so it is complete. So without entering in EMR cluster, we have executed basically this script using AWS step function. We had to make sure that when this particular file is reading the SQL queries to be executed, or this particular file is reading the config file, okay, they are reading from local. So in the first step, we need to download these scripts from S3 to local, and then I can execute my step function. As simple as that. Okay, this is all for this video. If you find this video helpful, then please like, share and comment. Subscribe our channel if you have not subscribed till now, and don't forget to press the bell icon to get the notification of our latest videos. Thank you.